At 1421 Ridgely Street in the infamous South Baltimore Brewery District, you will find Checker Spot Brewery. Located within walking distance from M&T Bank Stadium and the legendary Camden Yards, Checker Spot is the place for pre- and post-game party. Sporting a fun bar-style menu and their own signature Baltimore brews, live events, and nightly fun, come grab your spot and don't miss out. Checker Spot Brewery, it's the spot.
Welcome, Baltimore. So, to another episode of Sanity Lounge. We have a band in here that I discovered myself at back during the summer at a little battle of the bands up at Hopkins Farm Brewery, and we've been trying to get them in here since. We've had to reschedule a few times for lots of reasons, but more importantly, they are here today, the Piedmonsters, Piedmont blues band that I know very little about, so we're going to learn some history there. We have Mike guitar, Tom harmonica, most recent member from what I understand. Yeah. Steve on the rhythm bones, which we haven't had a rhythm bones player in here yet, and Cynthia on percussion and vocal. Right. All of you are a little bit vocal except Tom. I don't think you did any vocals, but you do enough with your mouth.
In a good way.
Right.
In a good way.
Right. So welcome, guys. This is awesome. We're thrilled to have you guys here.
Yeah, what a wild, off the bat, he comes after the Battle of the Bands gig that he was mentioning earlier, and he's like, the Piedmonsters, Piedmont Blues. And so explain to me, for the layman, a little bit about Piedmont blues, if you will. I guess, is that what it's called? Or?
That's what it's called.
Okay.
Right? Country blues, Piedmont blues, and it's just another category. You've got Delta blues, you've got Chicago blues, and so anytime you get into categories, you run into trouble with it doesn't work after all the exceptions. But having started with that caveat, it's a style of blues that is based in percussive, syncopated finger picking. Usually it's an alternating thumb bass, and with the other fingers picking out the melody. The person I was most close to, John Cephas, used to call this style the Williamsburg Lope. I have no idea where Williamsburg came from, but it has this loping kind of a feel to it.
That's a great.
It tends to be a little faster and more not positive, but more upbeat.
Closer to a trot.
It definitely can be, yeah. He did a lot of it. He did some slow songs too,
right.
And but the fast songs is where you really the Piedmontness comes out the most, I think. So,
and it spans. I mean, it originated in southeastern United States.
That's right, from about where we're sitting now in Maryland till the middle of Georgia.
Right.
Right.
So is it like Appalachian music?
It's Steve always points out that
it's not Appalachian. It's Piedmont blues.
Okay.
That's what they called it. They didn't. You don't want to use the word Appalachian when you're talking about this music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And no, let me ask. So, what time frame are we talking here? Like, when was Piedmont? Like you say, it's from here down to Georgia. Like, when did it come around? Do you know? Or
well, if you come around means become popular and known.
Well, maybe become a little bit cultural. I guess if you're in that area, you're aware of it.
Probably the 60s, like some of the other,
right.
Delta blues traditions, and you've got people publicizing them and these artists and getting them on the radar. We're talking about Reverend Gary Davis and Blind Blake, who was a little bit earlier. We're talking about Blind Boy Fuller. We're talking about Blind Lemon Jefferson.
Sonny Terry.
Somebody's got to lose an eye in this.
Sonny Terry.
Yeah, exactly. Sonny Terry.
Elizabeth Cotton.
No, Nice. So there's a whole lineage, and was
Archie Edwards?
Archie Edwards. Yep.
Local.
And Mr. Mike, so we're going to go down the line here, but what was is that your lifelong love? Is that your style?
Yes. That's it, without a doubt. You know, I'm also had other influences like you know, classic jam band rock, the Dead and Allman Brothers and Little Feat, and I love jazz, big Marcus Miller fan, and love world music. Lived in Venezuela for a while and in Mexico. So all these things kind of come into my playing. And when I was fortunate enough to hang out with John Cephas, he was always very supportive of going off-road and taking this kind of finger picking to other planes and trying different things. Right. And yeah, very, very generous and open to that. So I just kept going with it.
So you kind of evolved into it almost, because you were like you liked all kinds of music, and then once you found this, you were like,
that's right. When I was 16, I saw John Cephas and Phil Wiggins play in a converted boiler house in West Virginia, and that's the day my life completely changed.
Had you already been playing the guitar prior to seeing that?
I had been, but not like that. Not right. When after that night, you know, it became
changed everything.
Yeah, it did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, now my man. Okay, so first of all, I can't help but notice.
No,
Tom.
You can slide that back over. You guys have one down
there.
Yeah,
you don't have to lean in. Just leave it there.
It,
yeah, we got the levels. Yeah, it'll be good.
Okay.
Tom, I can't help but notice you have an accent.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about that briefly. Are you from the States or?
No, I'm from England originally.
I got you.
Southwest of England, a place called Devonshire.
Mm-hmm.
And
how long have you been in the States, if you don't know?
About 25 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
And are you a harp guy, like, by trade?
Definitely, yeah.
And had you been, like, what's your musical history, if you...
Yeah, well, when I was maybe 15, I heard John Lee Hooker, Muddy Waters, and I immediately fell in love, very much the same experience Mike had with the blues, and I wanted to play guitar like that. I wanted to play that instrument, which was the harmonica. And I remember going out the next day and I hadn't a clue, you know, what to buy, whether it was a big one or a little one.
Right.
And then just started buying blues albums and learning more about it. And this is pre-internet days, so you know your progress is a lot slower, but I think it gets in your bones.
That's a good way to put it. And are you in England still at this point, or are you here?
No, I just moved. I was to make this even more complicated, I was in Tucson, Arizona, playing the blues.
Oh, wow.
Singing, playing guitar, for 25 years there. God, so I must have been in the States for coming on 26 or 7 years. And then moved here. My wife got a job in D.C. And as a family, we moved all the way here maybe 6 months ago.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. And I met these cats.
So you mentioned, like, do you play any other instruments?
I play guitar, yeah, and sing.
And we should note here, because I'm not sure you heard this, but you're also a cartoonist.
I am, yes.
Which is awesome. We have a book here.
Holy
which is
shit.
a cartoon book. Well, I wouldn't call it a cartoon book, but they're sketches of
illustrated
blues legends over the years, which is absolutely fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, that's ice. We'll get into that. Yeah. So, well, that's cool. So then you move. It's a dry heat in Arizona, huh?
It is definitely a dry heat.
A little bit different than England. I feel like.
Yeah. Yep.
Probably took a minute to get used to, and then you come to Baltimore, and it's a different kind of heat.
So Arizona was the work thing also, probably?
Well, my wife's from California, so when I moved to the States, I was in San Francisco, and then we moved out to Tucson in 2000 and stayed there for like 25 years.
Well, he was there during the Pole era.
I was saying, you may know Mike Grabowski.
that name rings a bell.
For God's sakes, I was saying.
I mean, he was a chef at the
Gordon Biersch.
Gordon Biersch, yeah. He worked at
Did
Gordon
you know
Biersch
Gordon Biersch
in Tucson, Arizona?
No.
And he was probably always sitting around drinking after.
Probably pissed drunk usually. Anyway, it's not about Mike Grabowski.
If you show me a photo, I might actually know.
It would be legendary if you did know. Yeah. Okay. So that's good stuff.
Nice.
Mr. Steve on the bones.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, welcome. I'm a drummer. I love percussion. I love the history of music, especially drums and stuff like that. Like, are you just a bones player? Or are you a percussionist by trade? Or
No, I just play the bones and vocals. I grew up with doing a lot of singing, and I always loved blues guitar. I went to a party once, and there was a guy with a steel guitar, vibrator steel guitar, sitting by himself in a room, and I was mesmerized, and I sat on the floor in front of him for about a half an hour, and he was just using the slide, and I just really connected with it. And then about 13 years ago, I was having a number of physical issues. My leg, I have 2 hip replacements and a knee replacement. I got run over by a car
Good
in my
Lord.
early 20s. Anyway, and there was, I was having a number of issues, consumption with alcohol and cannabis.
Right.
And so I went to this little concert down the street, and when it was over, I went up to the musicians and I said, "Man, that was great." This was Miles Spencer. He had a group, I forgot its name. Anyway, he said, "Well, there's this blues jam right down the street. So about a mile from where I live is the oldest active acoustic blues jam, as far as we know, in the country."
wow.
And it's been going on since the 60s with Archie Edwards started, he was a barber, and on Saturdays he would stop cutting hair, take out his guitar, sit in his chair, and he would start playing. And he attracted these musicians to him. And the musicians came every Saturday afternoon, and it just became a tradition. And there were a group of insiders, and he eventually passed on, but the people just decided, we want to keep doing this. Wow. So they rented the building for a while, the barbershop, and then they ended up incorporating as a nonprofit. And so this blues jam has continued all these years. And so I started going, and when I walked in, I loved the music, and there's like all these guys and gals, and it's like really a cool sound. But I thought, I don't know this music. I've never heard Piedmont blues, which,
Right.
And so I would take a bottle of beer, and I would take the cap, and I would just tap on the bottom. And I did that for about 3 months, and I got up to get a beer one day, and there was a guy in there who was a bones player. There happened to be over in the corner a box of rough cut bones, because this bones, there were 2 bones players there, and the one of them made bones out of hardwood.
Wow.
And so I'm tapping on this bottle of beer, and I get up to get another bottle, and the guy says to me, "You going to get another instrument?" And it was like, he's thinking, what he's saying is, my instrument is tapping on the bottom of this bottle of beer. And I was so pissed at that.
Right.
I went over and I said, "No, I got to do something." So I went over to that box of wooden bones and picked up, 4 of them, and took them home and just started woodshedding. And I was practicing bones like nonstop. Even while I was driving a car, I was like playing the bones a lot. And then I also learned that bones are actually considered the oldest instrument in the world.
Right.
And that makes sense once you think of shaman and medicine men, and who killed their enemy, ate the flesh, and then rattled their bones.
It's all I think about. Not eating the flesh.
But you listen to some of our other episodes, you will know he's not lying when he says that's all he thinks about.
Yeah, I am obsessed with drums, rhythm in particular, and pre-Christian. I'm fine with Christianity. I don't judge. I love religion, everything like that. But just it happens to be pre-Christian.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drum history that's very interesting.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the spiritualism in all of us, and you know, the algorithm is fucking us all over right now. It's a rhythm, you know, there's a lot to it. But I love that you followed that, and now you're holding bones and rocking rhythm. I think that's wonderful. That's good for the show.
So I've read, like, typically the rhythm bones these days aren't, I mean, I guess there are real bones. Are yours bone or are they wood?
The two of them are cow shin bones, and the other two are South African hardwood. And I have, you know, I could play both, but I found that a lot of bones are so loud because they make a clacking sound. And when you're recording, if I put my phone down near me, I have to turn away because it just picks up that sound automatically and overwhelms everything else.
Right.
And so,
are there bones purists out there where, like, some people are like, I don't use wood shit. It's got to be real.
Actually, there's an international rhythm bone society of about 60 people, and they get together. And I decided I didn't want to join because I heard that bones playing can actually make you deaf, and I thought, why would I want to go to a group?
That's interesting.
That many people playing bones, you know.
Is that because of a specific pitch? Because I mean, I guess you did say
it's a very loud sound. It's a very loud sound. But I did study. You can take a course. That Rhythm Bone Society, International Rhythm Bone Society, which I truly respect. They have a bones teacher there. And I listened to a lot of the bones player who played at Archie Edwards' Blues Jam at that barbershop.
Right.
And his name was Mr. Bones. And that was his stage name.
Right.
And he was best friends with Archie Edwards and played with him a lot. And there were a couple of the songs that he did, and I just studied them big time to understand, because he had a certain rhythm pattern that he was doing, and it's really influenced my bones playing a lot.
That's awesome.
And
So,
how similar is it to, like, spoons?
it's on a status level, it's a lot higher.
Right.
But can you play the spoons as a bones player?
Have
you ever tried?
I don't play the spoons.
No?
No, but I have played with the spoons, a guy who was fantastic at the spoons, and we sort of played together.
That's cool.
And, you know, it's like anybody who plays any instrument plays it uniquely.
Right.
There are no two musicians alike.
Right.
And so I know most of the bones players that come to the Archie Edwards Blues here, and I could close my eyes and tell you who that is on the bones, because everybody plays differently.
That's
interesting. Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. All right, so Miss Cynthia, let's talk about your history. Like, how did you? First of all, what is your musical history in general? Like, are you a singer proper? Like, did you grow up singing and stuff like that?
In the shower.
Okay, all right, that's respectful.
And my history is kind of odd. I'm probably classic rock and roll is where I live.
Nice.
And R&B a little bit, you know.
And where are you from, like, area-wise?
I was born and raised in Brawley, California, which is about 65 miles from Yuma, Arizona. So I know dry heat as well.
Yeah, right.
Like 22 miles from the border, like east of Chula Vista and Tijuana, 118 miles. So, but rock and roll was kind of where I've always lived.
Nice.
I'm the youngest of 7. My oldest sister's 80. So I grew up with all of her music, all of their music.
Right.
But my dad was a blues guy. Drove me freaking nuts.
Is that right?
God, Dad,
just out of a rebellion?
That shit off.
Or you didn't
it was like
it?
old people's music.
Right,
you know. He played it constantly. He was illiterate. He didn't read, but he was a smart guy, and he loved his blues, and he spoke in blues lyrics all the time.
That's
like, he'd say things to you, and you'd be like, Dad, really? You should play the song all the time, man. He was obsessed.
Right.
So I guess it was kind of osmosis. It was happening to me, but I didn't know. And then I kind of took more of a rock and roll side of things, but I do prefer bluesy rock, southern rock. You know, I'm more attached to that than I am to, like, metal or stuff, but I love that too.
So were you singing in bands?
No, moved to Northern California when I was 18, 16, somewhere in there. Finished high school, went up to Chico State, California, And I wasn't in a band until 1996, maybe. I was 35-ish.
And it was a rock band.
And we played a little bit of everything. Marvin Gaye, Grateful Dead, Steely Dan, all kinds of rock and roll stuff.
I love Steely.
And then I had a brother that went to UCLA, and he brought home all the albums he acquired while he was a DJ at UCLA, a broadcasting major. So I kind of got influenced by every level of sibling. And so I kind of like everything. We were just talking about the Pretenders on the way here, and just new wave. I grew up with MTV.
Yeah.
And what about percussion? Have you always dipped your toe?
Never. Just sang. And it was a weird one. My next door neighbor was this guy named Mark, and my husband's best friend, and he was always over there jamming with his friends, and I'd be in the house singing every single song they were playing.
That's funny.
And my husband would be like, "Why don't you go over there?" They worked together. And he's like, "I've been telling them you need to go over there. You know those songs." I'm like, "I'm not going over there."
Right. Did they have a singer, or were they singing them poorly?
Sometimes they had a singer, and other times they were singing them okay or poorly. And so he was real like, "You need to go listen to that. You need to go over there." And then one day the whole band just came over to my house and made me go down there. And that was the first band I was in when I was 35.
Nice.
So
and then what led you to Baltimore and then to this style?
I moved to the East Coast in 2010. And just wanted to live somewhere else. California was crashing hard.
Right.
Housing was in the dumper, jobs, etc. And some friends of mine that lived here, they lived in California as well. She was from Bowie, Maryland, and her husband was from Paradise, California. You know the place that all the fire.
I remember that name.
Yeah, Paradise and Chico have had separate fires that were really gnarly, so it was good timing for me to not be living there. But they had moved back to the Bowie area. And one day they gave us a call and said, "What are you guys doing?" I speak Spanish. So in California, my friend was like, "Everybody speaks Spanish in California. You should come out here and you get a better job."
Right, you'd rule.
Not everybody. That's when I studied Spanish, etc. So they just said, "You should come." So we moved.
I got you. And then what led you to figure out you love Piedmont blues?
I started going to blues jams for 15 years. I was never in a band here.
Right.
Just never met the right people. Vibe was wrong, energy was bad, whatever, egos, whatever. Just it never
clicked,
felt right.
Right.
And then I was at a jam, and Mike was there with his son-in-law, and they came up to me after I was a house band. I was singing with the house band. They had lost their singer, and he comes up to me, and they're all kind of. I was like, one of these guys gonna ask me on a date? They're both way younger than me, especially his. And he asked me for my phone number and gave me a little.
So you're still wondering?
Yeah. He asked me for my phone number, and so I gave it to him, and then I go home, and my husband is a Caucasian Portuguese man, and I go home, I go, this tall white dude, young kid, and this other white guy got my number, asked me about something about Piedmont blues. I don't even know what that is. Whatever. And so after a couple of weeks, my husband was like, he was like, "That sounds kind of good because you haven't found a good fit at this point.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Maybe it's what's supposed to be happening or whatever. Who knows?" So 2 weeks later, he's all, "Has he called yet?" I'm like, "Yes. Did I give him the wrong number?" It was it was weird. Then you texted me out of the blue with this like really long text message. It was long, and he's telling me about what he already had a website, and he wants to be the Piedmonsters, and just little stuff about his vision. About to retire from college, teaching college as an English teacher in a year, but he had just met me, and he thought maybe we could get something started. So he sent me some songs, and I listened to them, and it was really long. You can come by. You work in Bethesda, and I live in Rockville, and my wife will be there. And my husband's like, "Stalker Mike."
Right.
That's what we still call him.
Right. You're laying it all out. I understand, baby. I mean, you got to lay it all out.
So I went over there, and I played some of the stuff for my husband, and I went over there, and then I came back, and he's like, "So what do you think?" I said, that guitar is... I was trying to explain the whole finger-picking thing. Right. And he's like, "Well, you've been fighting funk bands and classic rock bands trying to be heard over all the melee. Maybe this will be good for you.
Right.
You can hear yourself." So that's how it started.
Interesting. And how many years deep are we here?
We met in May of 2024.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
All right. So not incredibly deep.
Right.
No, and then we started kind of rehearsing, and I don't know, July, August or something. You said you had met a Bones player at Archie's. So we started rehearsing with him, and I think we did the Porch Fest in Hyattsville on his porch in September of 2024. So that's how long we've actually been playing.
Nice. And Mr. Mike, you would go to Archie's jam-offs?
Yeah, not as frequently as Steve, but, maybe every couple months or something like that. And, one time I saw Steve there playing his Bones, and he had a great energy about him, and I kind of asked for his phone number too.
Right.
He followed me out. It was like, who's this guy, and he says,
and I had
Can I
gone there
talk to you?
before. I just never met Steve. We just missed each other whenever I'd gone there.
Right.
But I knew a lot of the people there from other blues jams as well. So
Mike's the Ted Bundy of the Archies. He's following him around, getting the number. No, I'm kidding.
I do love the name Piedmonsters.
Yeah.
And that's you?
Well, and I'm glad that you do, because, some people show up to our gigs wanting one pecan pie
Right.
and two, peach apricot pies.
Right.
And no, we're a blues band, ma'am. So good. I'm glad.
Yeah, no, I love the name.
That's pretty cool, Mike, that you had like a retirement plan vision type vibe, if you will. That's good stuff.
It took so long.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I'm learning
You had
a
to
lot.
work 40 years.
So you were a college English teacher.
I was, at Montgomery College.
Really?
So community college. And it was great.
Okay, so now my next question is, these songs, are they traditional songs, or are they your songs that like you wrote the lyrics to and they're put to traditional stuff, or is it all original? Like, what's the songwriting process here?
We did 6 songs,
Right.
and 5 of them were original.
Okay.
And they're all, there's Piedmont in there somewhere with all of them. I can't not do that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a little bit of, R&B in there, and a little, not funk, but hopefully funky.
I was gonna say there's a little
we call
funk
it
in there.
country funk.
Yeah, country funk.
Country
That's
funk.
the description. I like that.
There's definitely a little bit of country funk in there.
And I'm so grateful to be playing in this group with these incredible folks, and we can take it really any direction, and they're game for it, and they just make they make me want to be a better musician.
I love that. Well, but what's the songwriting process? Do you do the lyrics, or is it kind of everybody brings
He does
them?
it all.
These were all his songs before we met him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We do a lot of songs at our gigs that we do, but today it was Mike's songs,
Yeah, we
with
wanna do
one
originals.
exception.
Yeah, that's smart. That's awesome, because we want to showcase you know, your guys' specific vibe. But so you're saying, though, at a show, if you're out and about, you play traditionals and stuff like that, and then you mix in your covers with just like every other band.
And some not. So that's what the Piedmonsters about. We do like
Right.
It's Your Thing by the Isley Brothers.
Nice.
Just all kinds of
Right.
stuff.
Nice.
A little twist
Yeah,
on
yeah.
No, it's also got the jam band feel to it. I mean, everybody has their little solos and their jams, and I love that.
Right, you mentioned the Dead and Allman Brothers
Yeah.
and stuff like that. If that's
No,
in
you
your
could definitely
roots,
tell that influences
100%.
the sound.
And a little gospel in there, too.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
definitely gospel. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like some of the songs that John Jackson gave to us, Dead have always done, like Going Down the Road. And some of the feels are familiar because they've been playing that stuff.
Right, which is why I think we brought up the bluegrass question, as you're pointing out, like different genres probably get edgy about, like, we're not bluegrass, we're Piedmont, but it is Americana or something. I don't know what it is, but it's the similar roots. It feels, you know what I mean? Even though they are distinct, and you want to maintain the difference, but
They're adjacent.
they are.
There's something else I want to point out, that Mike was really young when he met John Cephas, and John Cephas played with Phil Wiggins. Cephas and Wiggins were the best Piedmont blues players. They toured the world. They played at the White House in the Obama administration. Well, when Tom moved here, I was kind of blown away by his ability on the harmonica, especially.
Phenomenal player, Tom.
And so I got to talking with him, and I mentioned, do you play like Phil Wiggins? And he said, "Oh, well, I spent the whole decade of the 90s, learning to play Phil Wiggins.
Nice.
And he sat in a car with me. I was taking him home one night, and he pulled up a Cephas and Wiggins tune, and he played Phil Wiggins note for note. And it was like, oh my gosh, do we have a harmonica player on our hands? Because it's like, you know, he has a background with Cephas, and he has a background with Wiggins. And, you know...
it's a dynamic duo all over again.
Yeah, it's like there's a real connection happening here that I just think is so cool.
Yeah, you can't deny it, and that's why it's good that, like, even today, you guys, like, this is, when you saw them, it was just 3, correct? And then now Tom's it.
Right.
You know,
and that's why I think the universe had a little bit to play in this particular
waiting a little
by
bit.
waiting.
That's what it is. I was trying to figure out what it was. It was waiting because now they added.
We were waiting for Tom.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great because we're all about serendipity here at the lounge, and you know you can't deny it when it's there.
It's there.
Yeah. So you guys played 5 or 6 songs.
6
of them. 5 of them were original Mike style, and then 1 was a standard.
That's right. That was That's All Right. It was by Arthur Big Boy Crudup, who lived on the Eastern Shore here. He grew up in Mississippi and then moved here. But I first heard it played by John Jackson, who was a Rappahannock County, Virginia Piedmont legend and a big influence on me. And so we started with his arrangement, and then we went off in our own direction from there. But yeah, that was our cover.
That's awesome. Yeah, good stuff. Well, that's why when I was up there listening to them, I really dug the songs, and like you guys were rapping about pancakes and shit like that, and I'm like, which I loved, but I'm like, I wonder if this is like old standards, or is this them writing music that sounds
I love the song
Americana.
Pancake Man. You guys did that at Hopkins.
Yeah, it's great.
Someday it will be an old standard.
Well, that's absolutely, and that's what we're talking about here. All we need is time to pass.
We just played a retirement home, and I think we've played that song 3 times since we've been there. And Phyllis knows all the words. She was singing them to her husband about
it's
frying
a great song.
eggs and butter and bread.
Yeah, it feels Americana. It feels right, and it feels with
funky.
the style. It's great. Good stuff. And so, what about other bands? Are any of you guys sleeping around here, or is it just the Piedmont? Miss Cynthia, I apologize. I don't think I don't mean that for you. I mean,
I had 3 brothers.
Okay. But is there any other acts or bands you're in?
Tom's a solo act.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, I was like, what's Chris doing?
I swear, thank God it wasn't me, baby. That's all I know.
Sorry.
I thought that was a Chris cue.
As long as it was one of the guests.
Yeah, I play solo. I sing and I play guitar. It's more in a Mississippi, Chicago kind of way. But the harmonica's never going to escape that kind of Piedmont style.
Yeah, right.
So marrying the two is interesting. I dealt the Delta stuff with the Piedmont harmonica, and I play in a rack.
Is that difficult, like the old solid rack, because
It's definitely something you've got to get better at.
Right.
Because you'll learn to play in your hands, and you're shaping the notes as they come up. You're shaping the notes as they come out of the harmonica, and you're using different tones and effects. Like so when it's in the rack, you've got to learn how to do that and play guitar at the same time.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about it's so set there that you probably move your head more than you realize until it's set right there. You know?
I mean it gets held in place, and you've got to really tighten those bolts so it doesn't move when you're playing.
Yeah, right.
And I know that your bag, you have at least 16 harmonicas in there.
Quite a few, yeah.
And they're all just different keys.
Different keys, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's interesting. I guess that's one thing you can't really change when you're using a rack.
Yeah, I mean, I play, and it's something that you tell musicians now, and they find very strange. When I play solo, I play in one key. So I'm playing an F, and I use a B flat harp, and I play it in F. But musicians seem to get very upset. Other musicians
Right.
who don't play blues and don't realize that, Muddy Waters or Lightning Hopkins or John Lee Hooker played in pretty much one or two keys.
One or two keys, right?
It's just what they played,
Right.
and how they played it. So.
Yeah, but if you understand the blues, I think that a lot of people know that. But as you're saying, there's a lot of just people who don't realize that, who are in bands, who don't have that passion for the blues.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately for us, Tom had those other harmonicas too, so he
if I'm playing with in a band situation, I need all the keys for when they change up the key.
Right.
You play the corresponding one to the song.
So when you were in Arizona, you were playing.
Yeah.
So what? Obviously, you weren't playing Piedmont blues.
No, I was playing a little bit of hill country blues, which is Mississippi style. A lot of Muddy Waters, Jimmy Reed, Big Joe Williams, Elmore James. I play slide a lot. Some Robert Johnson. So very much Mississippi-based music, but with harmonica, which kind of puts it more in like the Memphis tradition. But there's a whole lot of areas with a whole lot of different styles in the States.
In the blues world, I feel like probably does the blues world get punchy about, like, if you put a harmonica in a Delta blues style, would anybody give a shit? Or, like, is there people out there that are like...
You need to talk to someone who gave a damn.
I guess that's true. Right. I guess that's true.
I mean, I'm doing me.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for so many decades.
But you've never had any asshole be like, hey, man, Delta doesn't have harmonica.
I've met a lot of assholes.
Yes. Hi, I'm Brian.
And a lot of people have definite... When you get someone coming up, whether they play electric blues or acoustic blues, and they start telling you you're playing the wrong instrument, you're playing the instrument the wrong way, it's like, it's usually coming from an insecure place, and it's like, okay, sit down.
Sure, right.
Go about your business.
Yeah. That's a better way to handle it, Tom, than the old Lep special. Right. It's a better way to handle it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good shit. Yeah. All right, Lord Davis, what do you got? You got anything? I don't want to...
No, so I want to talk... So how long have you been drawing?
I've been doing it since I was a little boy, since 4 years old.
And this book, tell us about this book.
Well, I moved up to... When I moved out of home, I spent a few years in Devon, where I lived. And then I moved up to Edinburgh, Scotland, where my mom's folks are from. So I was living in Scotland and working in bars and stuff. And I realized, I started playing blues out, and I realized that blues was going to take the prominent place in my life. Mm-hmm. Before that, I was planning to be a cartoonist and work for 2000 AD, which was a comic in the UK. Mm-hmm. And that was the plan. And I realized, okay, if the music's going to be number one, I'm going to have to think of a way to keep the art up, because I loved it so. So I started doing I think the first one I did was a portrait of Bukka White, who was B.B. King's cousin, slide player. And I just kept on going, and I've got maybe 200. There's maybe 100 in that book, but that's to keep production costs down. I've got like 200 now.
No, it's awesome. There's art on your website, and that's the first thing I noticed when I went to the website. I was like, well, that's a cool drawing. I haven't seen that before, and I was I was wondering who did it, and then lo and behold, you did.
I just happened to bring a book with me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As a gift.
Yeah, that's wonderful, because I mean, so you're a blues aficionado and an artist, so it's all just married perfectly into. Yeah, that's wonderful.
I do graphic novels as well. I did a historical vampire novel set in Tucson, Arizona.
Wow.
And a werewolf tale set in the UK, using like myths and tales from
folklore,
from ancient
and
folklore
And
in England.
Can you get these?
Or
they
have to track,
did you do
you'd
them
have to track
for yourself?
I put them out. I printed them and sold them in music shops and comic shops. but now I've moved to the area. You'd have to kind of get in touch with me to. But I'm keeping going. I'm introducing a little Egyptian mythology.
So you're still doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still an active.
Yeah, there's a third book on the way.
So Tom, are you a world historian?
I know my way around, but I wouldn't say I'm a historian. No, it's just interests.
Yeah, just because
historical,
Egyptians old,
yeah,
history
mythology in general is just fascinating.
Yeah,
and seeing similar things that happen in countries that are in different continents,
far away,
that have
similar stories.
Right.
I love that shit.
Like different tales, like African folk tales as well, Nancy, and it's a great starting off point for your own creativity.
Right, and it's perfectly blended for this band. It's like the Piedmonsters. You're into the blues. It feels.
You're into
it
the
just
monsters.
feels right.
Yeah,
You're into
Love those
blues.
monsters.
You love monsters and bones and shit.
In fact,
it's really cool.
Tom drew the portrait of us on our
Yeah, and there's
website right
another
now.
one coming down the pike.
Yeah, the monster thing.
Oh,
They want us to-
eventually.
What do you mean?
Maybe I
Is
should
it going to
do
be a
some-
portrait of you guys as monsters?
Oh, that's now you've come up with the idea.
Piedmonsters. Yeah.
I could do a Rat Fink kind of vibe.
Right.
Oh shit, Ratfink. I used to
Yeah.
draw Ratfink.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, not like you.
But,
I
then
suck,
they wouldn't talk to me. Maybe that's a plus.
We met Tom through his book at first. We were rehearsing with Steve, and he said, I met this harp
this
player.
book,
And he had one of his books.
Yeah, I did
And,
the Porch Fest.
Actually, the very first time I met Tom, he came to the Blues Jam, and I could tell he was brand new because he was sitting in the middle of a bigger circle, and he was forming a smaller circle around him, and he had these books, and he was raising money for
Justin Golden.
Justin Golden, who has some sort of a rare disease.
He's got cancer.
So he was basically selling the book to give money away to Justin Golden, and then I got to talking to him, and he was looking for where can a blues musician new to town find a gig, and it's like.
So are you kidding me?
right.
He said, "Are you playing with me right now?"
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
So are you full-time musicians?
I would call myself half-time.
Well, you're retired,
I've got.
so you have hobbies.
I have a small publishing business that I run on the side, and that's about
So you're publishing his graphic novels.
Speaking
also?
of which, we need more copies. So I've been talking to them about getting more copies of his book because we need more. We bought a chunk of them too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we each bought stacks. That's how this all started. Like you said,
The book thing is like the catalyst. But for me, it's educational.
Yeah.
I'll go and look at someone and go, and go listen to the music and read about who they are. So thanks, Tom.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff.
The publishing is language education, so not blues at all. Although I've always wanted to marry the two together and do some kind of schoolhouse rock thing, Piedmont based, but I haven't told you guys about that yet.
Oh,
That's the next project.
exactly.
And then, Mr. Steve, what do you do? Do you do anything other than the bones?
I'm a stock trader.
Is that right?
I am.
Like a day trader.
All right, we'll talk, man.
I have had a number of quote-unquote careers. I taught elementary school for 10 years, and I made such little money that I determined to figure out the world of finance. And I was teaching American history to 10-year-olds, and I was fascinated by an expression in the American Revolution, which was, "It's not worth a continental." And so the story there is that the American Revolution was paid for in paper dollars that became absolutely worthless.
Right.
And so I wanted to figure out the history of money and finance, and I just set about, I've always been a note taker of cool ideas, and that started off in a little notebook, and then it went to spiral notebooks, and now I've got an office with 3-ring binders full of all kinds of stuff that I've come across. A lot of it's journaling, dreams, and all that sort of stuff too. But anyway, I just totally got into the world of finance, and so the story that I tell is I paid my dues learning how to play the stock market. So I came across a book in the early 90s that said, if you want to learn the stock market, just jump in with $10,000 and you'll figure it out. You'll just figure it out, right?
Sound advice.
And I happened to have, it was a portion of a windfall that came to my family from an aunt. It was one of those, aunts who had no idea she had any money whatsoever, and she left us a little pile of money. And so I took $10,000, and I said to my wife, I just got to do this. And so I jumped in, and by about 6 years later, the 10,000 had ground down to 3,000, and that was 1999. And then I took that 3,000 and I turned it into 70,000 in about 9 months. And I was pretty much a nervous wreck because I was concentrating all my money into just one or two stocks, and the dot-com bubble was just blasting higher. And then the story ends with me losing all of that money.
Because of 08 or just something
because
else?
It was followed by a recession.
Right.
And in the process of all that, I actually discovered an idea on how to make stock charts in a new way. And I wrote a book. I published a magazine article, and it was published, and my phone started ringing off the hook. And here I am living in this tiny house in Hyattsville, and I get money managers from around the globe are calling me up trying to talk to me about, as though I'm the expert. Meanwhile, I'm losing money in the stock market. Right. They're treating me like I'm some sort of a god.
Right.
Because I created this indicator that on first glance it looks like a huge moneymaker. And I ended up publishing a book called Float Analysis, which is full of mistakes, even on the very first page. And I had a radio show. I did live stock analysis.
Wow.
I was listening to, I was doing a radio show when the Twin Towers came down. And so anyway, it wasn't the only pile of money that we were saving. So, all those years later, I just kept plowing through it, trying to figure it out. And we've done well.
So we're at the point where you won't claim to have figured it out, but you're comfortable. You've got it to a
I have
science.
my own method, and I have students, and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, right.
But you're a self-taught kind of.
I'm an autodidact. I've always been that. I went to elementary. I got a degree in elementary education, and when I left, I threw out all my textbooks. And I was a terrible teacher for about half of the 10 years. And what turned it around was I went to a recreation cooperative where I met my wife, and they were into folk arts, and there was like storytelling and drama, theater games and stuff. And I incorporated that into the classroom. And so, when George Washington is crossing the Delaware, I got some kid up there who, anybody want to be George Washington?
Nice. Right.
Oh, I do, And so we acted it out in front, and kids just love that. And I became a professional storyteller at one point, and told sea stories at the Mariners Museum. I've been a house painter. I was a short order cook. The last real job I had was as a Lyft driver. I've been a health aid caregiver to 90-year-olds. And I married the perfect Wonder Woman who books classical music events.
Oh, wow.
And she was raised by two graduates of Juilliard who were professional four-hand, one piano. And she grew up hearing more music than you can imagine. And she operates in a world of music. If I sing something to her before, if some tune comes up in my head just before she's going to bed, she's like, oh no, it's going to stick.
Right,
it's an
you can't get it
earworm.
out, right.
And so Yeah, so thank you for listening to my
Yeah,
TED
no,
Talk.
I
That's
appreciate
interesting.
it.
That's really interesting.
And then what about you, Miss Cynthia? Like, do you have on your side
I have
gigs?
a full-time job.
Yeah, nice,
You know,
nice.
This is on the side.
Yeah, well, and then you just pour it all out when you're rocking with the Piedmonsters.
Exactly. I work at NIH.
Right. NIH.
National Institute of Health.
Health.
That's my old job. Just kidding.
Not in a hurry. No.
Right. Hey, I like it.
But yeah, I have a full-time job.
All right, I dig it. All right, well, look, are you good or what? Okay. So what we like to do is when we're wrapping up, we like to do a movie connection. So I'm going to start with Mr. Mike. And if you, Mike, this is all fantasy, but if you were facing life in prison and you had a television and a DVD player and you had 3 movies, what do you pick?
Wow.
Gentlemen and lady, go ahead and think while Mike is under the hot seat here. Now, it can be TV shows. It can be movies, TV shows.
It could be more than 3.
Sure.
We'll start with movies. I'll stay with movies since that was the question.
Sure.
Blues Brothers.
Awesome.
Well done,
Awesome.
sir. One of the greats.
Jaws.
Awesome. Like it.
Jaws.
Loving
That's
it.
the set. Yeah, I feel like
I don't think anybody said blues.
Your hands. Let me see your hands, Hooper.
Right, Hooper. You got city hands. Yeah, I can go all day.
We were trying to do the Zoom. What's it called? What's the shot called?
The push pull.
We were trying to do the push pull for
in
real
Jaws.
last night.
Remember when Alex
Roy-
Kintner gets killed,
Yes.
and that shot of Scheider sitting, and it's like
Yep, right.
that's called a push pull. And Spielberg didn't invent it, but I think Hitchcock
He made it
started
famous,
doing it.
yeah.
But
yeah.
Spielberg did one of the greats, and
You can do it on your phone. He claims his son can do it.
We
but
we
it
were
was
trying to
driving me
do it on a
crazy.
reel the other day.
Because as you're zooming out, or as you're zooming in, you have to walk backwards at the same speed that you're zooming in. So on an iPhone, obviously, that is difficult.
It's a tough one to nail, but great pick.
But yeah,
So Blues
Jaws.
Brothers, Jaws.
And then the third could be any one of, the movie Crash is one of my favorites.
Okay, which one? Crash?
Yeah, this is
Matt Dillon? And,
yes, right. The one that won Best Picture like 12 years ago, something like that.
Great movie about race relations.
That's right.
Basically, in Los Angeles, in a powder kegged Los Angeles.
Right. Every actor acted like their lives depended
Incredible.
on a great script. You left thinking understanding how connected we all are. So yeah,
I agree. That's a good one because you know that there is another Crash film, David Cronenberg's Crash.
That's earlier, right?
Right.
Yeah, older.
And that has to do
different.
with sexual, sexual fetishes when you wreck a car.
Yeah, in
It's
fact,
the
I think that's
weirdest
the only
movie.
one. I think that's the only one I've seen.
Woe Davis, there's a better, there's a more accessible one that won Best Picture.
Or maybe I'm backwards. Maybe I've seen the good one, and I don't know.
Well, they're both good in their
Right,
own
right.
way. I didn't hate Cronenberg's Crash, but it was a weird movie.
Who's in that one?
James Spader, your Patricia Arquette.
Yeah, that's the one I've seen.
Bill Pullman, I think.
Yeah.
It was a wild one. But I'm glad it wasn't that one, just because, the conversation would go.
Blues Brothers, Jaws, Crash.
Yeah, what a great pool, man. Crash. That was a very prescient movie at the time. I haven't watched it in a minute, but I remember thinking like, damn, it was just well written.
This is always worth noting too. We have a Jaws episode that we did not last summer, the summer 2024. One of the I come up with like some trivia because he's kind of he knows everything.
I'm a nerd.
So with Jaws, I asked him, and without Google, I mean, I sat here and watched him. He never looked at his phone. He named all 18 deaths between Jaws 1 and Jaws 4 by character name.
And in order.
In order. Yeah. And then on the way home, called me and realized that there's a director's cut where Mario Van Peebles dies in part 4, where he does not die in the movie.
As I was driving home, I was like, son of a bitch. Technically.
So technically there's 19, but the 19th one's not in the
I'm a bit
original.
of a loser, as it were, when it comes to...
No, it was impressive. I asked him, didn't take. It took a little, it took 20, 25 minutes, I think, maybe a half hour for you to come up with the whole list. But he nailed it, and I was thoroughly impressed.
Nobody gave me the memo that there was going to be a thing called Google. So, like, for 30 years, I was like, I thought I'd have to know all this shit, and now it's.
It was wild. It was impressive. It's impressive.
Good 3 picks, Mike. All right, Tom from England.
I blanked immediately.
Everybody usually does.
Have I watched any films ever?
We've had guests in here that have never seen movies.
Yeah, right. Actually, if you're that guy, that's fine, baby.
But I got them.
All right,
awesome.
Start with John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes.
Oh, what a great pick, Tom. Now, let me ask you this. So, did you see that in Europe or here the first time?
In Europe.
Okay.
In England, yeah.
Nice. Because that's I always wonder.
They dubbed it into English.
They dubbed it into English. I always wonder the theater experience overseas, if it compares to the theater experience here. Is it different?
I would say in the 80s probably.
Yeah, I don't think I think I saw it on VCR.
Oh, okay. I got you. The Thing, great movie.
Got to represent Arizona. Tombstone.
Oh, yeah, one of the best. Very troubled production, apparently. Yeah. I don't know. I never knew that till recently, but apparently it's it's like Jaws in the sense of it was one of the worst productions. If you were there, Kurt Russell really had
pretty much took over.
Right, he had to like gun or man the whole thing.
Yeah. And last one, 12 Angry Men.
Oh, 12. Good for you. Yeah, that's the old school Henry Fonda. Yeah. One of the greats. Have you ever seen that one, David?
If I have, it's a
great movie.
Yeah.
Many, more than 20 years ago.
Drama.
Right, courthouse drama, Tale of Morality, 12 great actors.
Yeah, amazing, yeah.
And it all takes place in one room, right? Yeah. And it's like, that's a hell of a script if you can pull that off. Because to this day, if you watch that, it's very good. It's very... well,
who else is it? You said Henry Fonda?
It's a lot of people. Yeah. It's Henry Fonda.
Of the era.
I mean, it's a who's who.
What year? 70s?
50s.
40s.
40s.
40s, black and white.
Late 40s? I don't know.
I swear I want to say you're right, late 40s, but let me look it up. It might be later than that.
I just go by black and white. Or
right.
Is it black and white?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it George C. Scott?
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, it's black.
George C. Scott?
Yeah, I believe a young George C. All right,
great movie.
All right,
Intense.
Lee J. Cobb. That's the one.
Lee
57.
Yeah, that's
1957.
Yeah.
Lee J. Cobb, Martin Basson, John Fielder. I don't know. E.G. Marshall, Jack Klugman, Jack Warden. A young Jack Warden. It's when he's younger.
Yes.
Ed Begley Sr. And it was directed by Sidney Lumet, who's one of the greats. I mean, good picks, man.
Judge Rayford.
Yeah. So you gave 3, right? That's your 3. You gave 12 Angry Men. Jesus, I'm spacing. What's
Thing.
the 3?
Oh, the Thing.
Tombstone,
and 12
Love
Angry
it.
Men. Did
Great
you?
3.
What? I mean, have you seen Wyatt Earp? Like the Kevin Costner, where Dennis Quaid plays Doc Holliday.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's a good one. It's more of like an epic. It's long. It's much longer, more historical. But I like Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday. I think he was much cooler than Dennis Quaid's.
Yeah,
but apparently Dennis Quaid's was like more authentic. from what I understand.
Right, like if it came out the same year as Tombstone, was Lawrence Kasdan.
Yeah, they
Wyatt
did.
Earp,
They did come out the same year.
Right,
Yeah,
and it was Kevin Costner was Wyatt Earp.
Yeah,
and it kind of got buried because Tombstone was so culturally relevant. Everybody loved Tombstone.
Yeah, Bill Paxton. I mean,
one of the greats.
Tombstone.
But you ought to, if
Steve
you like
Lang.
Tombstone, it's weird because if you watch Wyatt Earp, it's a 3-hour movie, and there's a lot that happened in Wyatt Earp's life before Tombstone, like Dodge City, and he was a criminal and all this stuff. So the last 45 minutes of Wyatt Earp is Tombstone.
Yeah.
And it's in a different kind of vibe. So it's interesting, especially if
it's
you
good.
like-
I mean, it's a Kevin Costner.
It's a
3-hour
great
movie.
Yeah.
It was similar when Braveheart came out. I think 3 other Scottish
Rob Roy.
biopics were out in the same month. or
Yeah,
something
you're
like
right.
that.
Rob Roy was coming out
Liam
right
Neeson
around
or
then.
some-
Yeah, Liam Neeson and Tim Roth were in Rob Roy. Okay.
Well, you said sitting in a prison,
Correct.
and my favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, nice.
That's been a pick, yeah.
And
one
so
of the greats.
that was
Nice.
yeah. And then I thought I went to a TV show that I'm currently watching every morning. I had a
After pancakes.
I had a pancreatitis problem,
Right.
and it was like I need to laugh. And my favorite TV show for laughing is called Barney Miller.
Oh man, of course.
And there are just so many crazy character
Fish.
actors that, oh man,
I love fish.
This morning a character comes in who's a werewolf. He claims he's a werewolf, and he's behind bars. Becoming a werewolf. Anyway, I love that show.
That's great, Barney Miller, and that bass, baby.
Yeah.
That bass. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
You like that bass, but you never like the Seinfeld bass.
It's a keyboard.
Well, don't do
What's
this
that?
to me. Don't do this.
Keyboard.
Different bass.
Oh, it's not.
The Seinfeld bass is a
See,
keyboard.
It's not even a bass.
See, Tom.
All right, maybe
Didn't
that's
feel right.
right.
You knew
Oh,
it didn't
wow.
feel right.
See, I
Yeah.
knew I
See.
could tell. That's the thing. I
Really?
love bass,
I
but
don't
there's
think- I
something
didn't know
about
that. I don't
that
think I knew
bass
that.
just bothers
It's not a
me.
bass. That's what bothers you.
That's
The
it.
bass.
Tom with
It's
the
a
pull
keyboard.
through. Unbelievable, baby.
And
All
then
right.
my third one would be Forrest Gump, I guess. That's
Nice.
the one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I love the serendipity. I call it synchronicities, where he's always in the right place for all these events, and
Yes.
it feels a bit like my own life, where I find myself fascinated by something, and then it's like 10 years later, it's like all these other people were also, fascinated
Right,
in that,
right.
So,
Yeah, it's interesting. We've had people in here where
That
we've
are
been
far-
like, you're like Forrest Gump.
Your
man.
cousin,
It's
your
like-
cousin's one of them.
Yeah, my
John
cousin.
Rollo.
Right. Yeah, it's wild. Well, they're three great picks, man. Especially the TV show.
Yeah.
Barney Miller, man, one of the greats.
and you can get every single episode now. I only saw probably 40 episodes, but I just recently learned that Tubi has all 8 seasons, which is like 180 episodes. So I'm slowly moving through them.
That's
Tubi
cool.
is slowly and quietly the best streaming because it has these shit 80s movies that I love.
Tubi has the grand.
It has all of them. Does
it's,
it really?
It's like the only
Fabulous,
streaming service that
I
has the
didn't know that.
grand.
Wow,
That's where I
okay.
watched it.
Nice. Okay. Well, great. I didn't know.
I didn't watch it on your DVD.
When we were in Hawaii, we watched Tubi. We saw the Fabulous Freak Brothers.
The Fabulous Freak Brothers. I don't know that
You
one.
should check
It's a
it out.
cartoon.
Okay.
It's
a
a comic
cartoon.
strip originally by Gilbert
Okay.
Shelton.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me write
now
You
it
need
it's,
to
down.
check that out.
I'm
Now it's
always
an
looking
animated
for,
series.
Yeah, we watched a lot of that.
for good stuff. Okay, Miss Cynthia, you are up.
So Shawshank was going to be mine.
Oh, really?
One of them. Because
There
I'm a
we go.
Stephen King fan, and that was called Rita
Rita
Hayworth or
Hayworth
something.
and the Shawshank Redemption.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A short story of Stephen King.
Mhm.
Where that came from.
Yep.
But also, between my bachelor's and master's in Spanish, I needed to loosen my tongue and drink tequila. So we moved to Mexico and we bought this giant map, and we wanted to live on the ocean, and we saw Zihuatanejo on the
Zihuatanejo.
map.
Bless you.
And so that's where I lived from 98 to 2001.
Zihuatanejo.
We moved to Zihuatanejo,
Wow.
which is where he went to, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
And the
Right.
Shawshank.
Connection.
Right. The Randy
so
and
were
went
we-
to
yeah, remember he went
Zihuatanejo.
and
Who
found
were
him.
we just talking to on the show that lived there?
Yeah,
Or-
like either went there or saw the
Yeah.
tree.
Oh,
or-
Mama's Black Sheep.
yes.
I lived there for 3 years.
Well, look, the band that was on a couple episodes ago, Mama's Black Sheep. It's these two ladies, and they tour.
Well, they tore St. Croix, but
St.
they were.
Croix.
This isn't where that happened,
No.
obviously.
But they talked about.
Or maybe
being
that's where
to
they
that
filmed.
place or
Actually,
something
no.
like
I think
that.
that's where they filmed that scene.
Well, she
in
knows
St.
where they
Croix.
filmed it, yeah.
I don't think they filmed
they
it
filmed
in the
it in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
U.S.
My
Virgin
friend
Islands. That's what
who
I'm talking
lives in
about, not St. Croix.
Zihuatanejo is from the
Yes.
U.S. Virgin
So
Islands.
they filmed it in the
Gotcha.
U.S. Virgin
Yeah,
Islands,
yeah.
but it's a real place. Because I asked him, I was like, "Is that boat
But
still sitting there?"
Zihuatanejo is
And they're
still,
like,
yeah.
no.
They didn't film it there.
Right,
But
right.
they used that as
Yeah, but
Okay,
that's
no,
awesome. That's good serendipity.
God, that would have drove me
yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
Yeah, that's good serendipity
So
stuff.
I don't, I could go really deep because of all the movies I've ever seen, but my favorite as a youngster was The Bad Seed.
The Bad Seed. Oh,
Remember little Rhoda?
Joan Crawford, or who was the little girl?
Oh, I forget, but that little girl was a
Oh
hot
my
mess.
gosh, yeah. You know, that story, The Bad Seed in general, it's like the good son. Remember Macaulay Culkin's The Good
Yeah.
It's like when you have a child that is just
Just
awful.
evil.
Speaking of the Rob Reiner stuff.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
what, I mean, it's
Princess
devastating.
Bride,
But speaking of bad
Yeah,
seed, it
exactly.
reminds
Where you
you
just can't do anything about
right,
them.
because that story, The Bad Seed, I mean, it was based on a play, I think, but it's a real compelling tale that ends tragically.
Where every other generation gets the disease.
Right, whatever
and
that is.
the little blonde girl got it.
Yep.
It's a great.
It
we
is
watched
a
that
good one.
a
Wow.
lot.
That is a good one. All right.
And then speaking of Zihuatanejo, two things. One's a TV show and one's a movie. But I was just like getting my chops speaking Spanish and trying to get a phone turned on and getting electricity, and my head hurt all the time. So it was nice to have something in English to watch. And so on television, there was the Hallmark Channel. So we watched a lot of cheese. But we had brought some VHS tapes with us.
Nice.
And one of them was every single episode of In Living Color.
Oh,
Yeah.
young Jim Carrey, young Keenan Ivory Wayans, young Jamie Foxx.
So we watched that a lot. So that would be like my TV show.
That's awesome.
Dude,
And then the other one that was the
sketches are
stupidest.
wild.
I love stupid comedies.
Oh, man.
Adam Sandler's Waterboy.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was
We
the
love
other
it.
one.
we
So
were
those
there
are my
when
three.
they filmed in Florida at the Orange Bowl or whatever. We went there when they were filming it extras. I don't think we ever went in because it was too nutty, but
Oh, I remember that.
yeah, remember like
Are
either
you sure?
you,
I think it was. We did go in. I don't think we knew what they were
maybe
doing.
I backed out. I
Maybe.
just remember
I
at
think
the
I
last
was in
minute.
there with Becky.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure because I have a ticket for that.
All right, well maybe I did go. You see, I have brain damage here, and it's fine.
You too.
But it's fine.
And Waterboy also has an incredible soundtrack. I love
Yes.
movies with really good soundtracks.
Yes, great pulls. 3 wild ones in living color, man. God, way ahead of its time. Like I just
Ahead of its time and probably not. Nobody will accept that today.
Hell no.
I was watching. It's funny you said that because I was a meme or a reel came across of Jim Carrey doing Don Rickles.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was insane.
And even like you think about living color, like I don't think they would do Fire Marshal Bill. Now, even though
It was
it's funny,
A burned up
it's
fireman.
satire, sure.
Some stuff is funny.
Like, they would never
it's
do
great.
that right
Like
now.
Blazing Saddles. I
Right.
mean, if you can't laugh,
100%. And to all the haters of Blazing Saddles, Richard Pryor wrote that. Richard Pryor wrote
I
that.
love
Mel
that
Brooks
movie.
knew
I
Richard Pryor
love
was a
that movie.
genius, and he was like, let's do this.
Did he really? I
Absolutely.
didn't know that either.
Absolutely. Richard
wonder.
Pryor was supposed to be the Cleavine Little part. But I don't know exactly. It wasn't. He didn't catch on fire. Something happened.
Well, that would have made sense because every movie he did back then was with Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I mean, that would have made sense.
Yeah,
That would
right.
have made perfect sense
would
if
have made
Richard
perfect
Pryor was in Blazing Saddles.
Yep.
Was it Gene Wilder, the Frankenstein one?
Young
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
Young
Oh my
Frankenstein.
God.
That's
That's a
one of
great
my
movie.
top movies.
One of
yes.
the great movies, one of the great comedies of all time, black and white. And you know what? Gene Hackman's in that.
Yeah.
He plays the blind,
blind
guy.
man,
Yeah,
yeah.
the blind man. If you blink,
a great
you'll miss
scene,
him.
yeah.
But yeah, great pull. I love Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I love all of it. All right. Well, this has been great, guys.
Yeah.
And do you have anything you want to plug, like websites or anything like that? Or
It's the Piedmonsters.
Piedmonsters.com.
Yeah,
Piedmonsters.com.
right. And then, my man, with your book, can people get the book anywhere? Or
If I'll give out my email. My email is wallbanktom@hotmail.com. So that's WALBANKTOM@hotmail.com. Send me a line, and I can mail you a copy off either of the blues book or the two graphic novels.
yeah, man, we'll put the links up. On the
Yeah, the links will be everywhere.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to plug Archie Edwards Blues Heritage
Yeah, right.
Foundation,
Oh, yeah,
which
yes.
is in Hyattsville, and it's acousticblues.com.
Awesome.
And it's open to the public, and musicians of any level can come in, and it's every Saturday from 1 to 5. And it can go longer, and there's a Christmas party the first Saturday in December, which is
missed
a
it.
real
We went to it. You missed it.
really cool, because the best blues musicians in the area get together and just really,
Have a
it's
good
just
time.
it's a whole afternoon of singing.
It's a
that's
party.
fantastic. It's a
And
party.
that's,
yeah.
you said every Saturday.
It's
from 1
every
to 5.
Saturday, yep, and it's
1 o'clock.
basically just a party, because there's people bring food, And we have a refrigerator, so you bring your favorite drink and.
Awesome. We'll put that on our calendar and start putting
and it's
that
in
our newsletter.
On Hamilton Street,
Yep.
I think.
Nice.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, look, we appreciate you guys. Keep rocking and keep Piedmonstering, and
Yep.
I would like to say you guys are really professional and you do your jobs really well.
I really appreciate
that,
that,
I'm
sir.
very, very impressed. with
Good.
this,
I
think.
appreciate hearing that. We are not professional.
Yeah, we're
That's why it's great.
this is one of those. Right,
So the reason, the reason we are the way we are, we've been best friends since 1991.
Yes.
Right.
So we have history. We've been through a lot of shit
we've
together.
been through a lot of awful and great things
Yeah.
together, and so
But
we're
I
kind of
appreciate.
married, but not.
We love hearing. We appreciate that because we love doing this and we
Yes.
love supporting you guys. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
awesome. It's awesome.
And
to hear.
Wheel, his production's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wait till you
Yeah.
hear it. It always sounds great. But look, we appreciate you guys, and just keep doing what you're doing. All right.
Yeah, and if you
Likewise.
need, I'll get you the videos because a lot of times, I know festivals are booked up probably for 2026, but a lot of them like request that kind of stuff, and
Right.
you'll have it now
Yeah.
to send them. So
Right.
if there's any dropouts or something like that, you can still get it out there, and but you'll have them anyway.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
All right,
for having
guys. Stay sane, Baltimore.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The telephone interrupted our bedtime tale. Department of Corrections on the line. They said a man was in a bind and had given them my name. So we put on our coats, my little girl and I. It was a short distance to the jailhouse. November moon hid behind the clouds. Despite the lonesome hour, there was a line at visitation, standing on the concrete outside. So we gave our identification, and we waited for his name to be called. 90 long minutes later, our man appeared on the other side, and his eyes were wide circles in the night. 1,000-yard stare with 99 to spare. Daddy, get that man out of jail. He doesn't look like he's doing too well. Daddy, get that man out of jail. Somebody needs to get him out. Get him out of there. He picked up the receiver and his words stumbled in. Said, my heart will cease to beat if I remain. My lies multiplied and my hole got deep and wide. It's sure hard to think when those handcuffs engage. So my 7-year-old daughter, she looked at him and said, what does a good man need to do to wind up in this cage? One small mistake, one big one, and it all comes down like rain. We bailed him out, but he'll never see the same. And his eyes were wide circles in the night. 1,000-yard stare with 99 to spare. Daddy, get that man out of jail. He doesn't look like he's doing too well. Daddy, get that man out of jail. Somebody needs to get him out. Get him out of there.
1,000-yard stare with 99 to spare. Daddy, get that man out of jail. He doesn't look like he's doing too well. Daddy, get that man out of jail. Somebody needs to get him out. Oh, Daddy, get him out of there.
One, two, three.
Let me be your pancake man. I'll go downstairs at the break of dawn. Let me be your pancake man. I'll go downstairs at the break of dawn. Hey, I'll fry your eggs and butter your bread if I can be your morning man. I'll get your syrup from the mountains, oranges fresh squeezed. Baby, I'll roll your oats until you say, Daddy, please. Let me be your pancake man. I'll go downstairs at the break of dawn. Hey, I'll fry your eggs and butter your bread if I can be your morning man. To your coffee talk, I'll listen. You like quiet, we can read. You want light, we'll go continental with Lord of London tea. Let me be your pancake man. I'll go downstairs at the break of dawn. Hey, I'll fry your eggs and butter your bread if I can be your morning man. Take it, Mike. Let him have it, Tom. To your coffee talk, I'll listen. You like quiet, we can read. You want light, we'll go continental with Lord of London tea. Let me be your pancake man. I'll go downstairs at the break of dawn. Hey, I'll fry your eggs and butter your bread if I can be your morning man. I'll get your syrup from the mountains, oranges fresh squeezed. Baby, I'll roll your oats until you say, Daddy, please. Let me be your pancake man. I'll go downstairs at the break of dawn. Hey, I'll fry your eggs and butter your bread if I can be your morning man. Let me be your pancake man. Let me be your pancake man.
Let me be your pancake man.
Let me be your pancake man.
your bread if I can be your morning man. Hey, I'll fry your eggs and butter your bread if I can be your morning man. Hey, I'll fry your eggs and butter your bread if I can be your morning man.
One, two, three.
Well, that's alright, mama. That's alright for you. That's alright, mama.
Any way you do,
That's alright.
that's alright,
That's alright.
that's alright,
And that's alright.
and that's alright now, mama. Any way you do.
My mama, she done told me, my papa done told me too. Son, that girl you're fooling with,
She ain't no good for you.
but that's alright.
That's alright,
That's alright.
that's alright,
That's alright.
and that's alright now, mama. Any way you do, the way you do.
That's alright.
That's alright,
That's alright.
that's alright,
And that's alright.
and that's alright now, mama. Any way you do.
I'm leaving in the morning, leaving here for sure. I don't want you, baby,
Hanging round my door.
but that's alright.
That's alright,
That's alright.
that's alright,
And that's alright.
and that's alright now, mama. Any way you do.
I won't sing you no more love songs. I won't write you no more lines. I've let you break my weary heart for the last time, but that's alright.
That's alright,
That's alright.
that's alright,
That's alright.
and that's alright now, mama. Any way you do. Well, that's alright, mama. That's alright for you. That's alright, mama. Any way you do.
That's alright.
That's alright.
That's alright.
That's alright,
And that's alright.
and that's alright now, mama. Any way you do. The way you do.
That's alright.
That's alright,
That's alright.
that's alright,
And that's alright.
and that's alright now, mama. Any way you do.
I'm leaving real soon. I'm leaving in the morning, flying with the moon. I really should get my rest, but I just can't get to sleep tonight. I just don't know, I hope this comes out right. Refrigerator is empty, my bank account is clear. My key is in the mailbox, there ain't nothing left to steal. I hope where I'm going the heat ain't broke and the phone will be ringing when I'm called. Living out of boxes until my situation's solved. Cities are big cities, Lord knows that is true. But I hope there's a corner bar and I pray they like the blues. I'm going down to the river just one more time. I'm gonna wade in the water, gonna cast in my line. I just don't know, I hope this comes out right. Rolling down this highway, I got an early start. I feel free in my soul, man, but lonely in my heart. The U-Haul creaks and the coffee stains, I got the interstate blues, I'll be driving all night. I just don't know, I hope this comes out right. I don't go to pray on Sunday. I don't worry what Jesus might do. It's not easy being the person I should. But these words help me get through. When I feel ungrateful, let me put it on the table. When I feel ungrateful, let me put it on the table. For tonight, for tonight. When I'm trailed by impatience, let me leave it at the station. When I'm trailed by impatience, let me leave it at the station.
For tonight, for tonight, when I am afraid, let me walk with grace. When I am afraid, let me walk with grace. For tonight, for tonight, when I'm feeling hateful, let me leave it on the table. When I'm feeling hateful, let me leave it on the table. For tonight, for tonight. When I see I'm wrong, let me raise my arm. When I see I'm wrong, let me raise my arm. For tonight, for tonight, when I don't understand, let me open up my hand. When I don't understand, let me open up my hand. For tonight, for tonight. When I feel fine, let me hold it in my mind. When I feel fine, let me hold it in my mind. For tonight, 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 for tonight. Coal train, half a mile long, Kansas blue, 60 bushels strong. Old Abilene, you're just as I recall. The sun is high, there ain't no shade at all. A mother and a daughter and a daughter's child, riding through the field. They were cutting grain till the sun goes down. If that combine don't fail, old Abilene, you're just as I recall. The sun is high, shade at all.
Take us to Abilene, Tom.
From Solomon and Niles to Abilene, you take that road until the end. My old friend, can you sit a while? I might not pass this way again. Old Abilene, you're just as I recall. The sun is high, there ain't no shade at all. No shade at all. There ain't no shade at all. No shade, ain't no shade at all. No shade at all.
Thanks for listening, Baltimore. You can find us at www.sanitylounge.com or on Instagram at sanity.lounge.
Keep listening and subscribe.
Stay sane, Baltimore.